I don't think it's going to be a big day for our secondary. I don't think they're going to have much to work with.
Yeah. Which, again, I might get to an Andrew Marshall question in a little bit.
I mean, if you're only going to throw the ball 13 times against Michigan State,
yeah.
Are you even going to try and throw a pass against one of the top secondaries in the country?
45, 40, 35, 40, he's going to go! It's time, people, feel us!
Big Red Junkies.
Day by day, he gets better and better! He gets better and better! If we die, we die!
Man, woman, and child in that. Put him in the aisle.
Bring that trophy back to Lincoln.
Welcome into another episode of the Big Red Junkies. I am BJ. This is Jed. This is Matt. And we are previewing Penn State. The game that we all preseason thought for sure was the only definite loss on our schedule.
Kidding.
We are now trying to figure out whether or not this is a game we should be more worried about than Iowa coming up 2 weeks from now.
Things have drastically changed in this aspect of this game.
And not for Nebraska.
No. Holy hell.
That's actually a really good point because I think we are pretty much exactly, like, yes, it's happened differently than we probably expected to, but we're pretty much where everybody expected us to be at this point of the season.
Well, and you said not for Nebraska, and Nebraska has a backup quarterback, and it's still not for Nebraska.
Yeah.
Like
Losing your 5-star quarterback, who it's a bad loss, but the team is in the same spot-ish.
Yeah.
And Penn State is off the rails, in the woods, and down the waterfall. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So, it's going to be a game.
It will be a
gonna be
game.
a
You're going to finish that? That was a really good wind-up.
I didn't really know where else I was going with it. They're lost. They're gone.
That's a really good wind-up, and then you just kind of trailed off. They
beat the high school football team that is currently Michigan State today.
Yeah.
So good for them on that. I don't know what else happens to their season.
It was funny listening to that broadcast, and I brain fart on who does the CBS games at 2:30. But they literally were like, there's not too many times where we do a game where two teams are on a 6-game losing streak. And it was what it was. Like, just.
That's kind of crazy to think about, actually.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy to think about. We are, just as a caveat, so I know we normally record on Monday nights, but we actually, we're doing this after the show we did with Elijah Herbal. Thank you again to him for coming out and spending some time with us. If you didn't catch that, make sure you go back and catch that. Give it a like, drop a comment.
Lots of great talk in there.
Conversation, yes.
Good conversations on that about Raiola, about Emmett Johnson, about the coaching staff, about what 2026 is going to look like, about transfer portal. I mean, we covered a lot of things kind of previewing the offseason, and it's all good bye-week talk. So
like and share it.
Like, subscribe, share. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to this show.
Click all the buttons.
Click all the buttons. Click all the buttons and drop a comment. Let us know what your score prediction is for this. If you do check out the comments right now, you'll see that we have our prop bet questions. There's 8 of them down there for you. For later in the show, please, even if you're not going to watch the whole show, fast forward and follow along with those. Drop your guesses on those. Jed likes to track that stuff, and we've got some friendly rivalries going on out there.
It's been fun watching people like, I just want to beat so and so, and it's fun.
Hopefully, Julie gets her questions in on time, and
we're giving you extra time.
You got extra time.
No excuses.
Yes, exactly.
But I do want to jump into Penn State and what we expect to see from the defense this week. Jed?
So, it's super weird how we had thought what this game was going to be coming into the season.
Their defense was supposed to be some elite juggernaut this year.
Well, not just the defense, but the offense, and the whole team was a top 5 team coming into the season and everything. And then they've just...
Odds on, I think, number 3 to win the Natty.
Whatever, yeah. And ultimately, they have a shit ton of talent on both offense and defense, but they're middle of the road in everything.
Yes.
Whether it's offense or defense, and I'm going to talk about defense. In conference play, they're 10th in rushing defense. They're 5th in passing defense, so that's really good. But they're 9th in total defense. But they only have 2 interceptions in conference play. So it's like they're not going to take the ball away from you necessarily.
With all that talent, it's so crazy to hear something like that.
So one of the guys denied Dennis Sutton. He's their defensive end. He was a stud last year. playing on the opposite side of Abdul Carter. And he had a great season. It's for Nebraska fans, it will be a lot like Jared Crick with Ndamukong Suh.
Sure.
Jared Crick had a great year outside of Ndamukong Suh, but it wasn't the same. So what, I mean, everybody expected Denai Dennis Sutton to have like this monster year as the guy without Abdul Carter. But I mean, he's having a good year, but it's not like it's what probably they expected. I think the biggest thing about him is that, including the Michigan State game earlier today, he has blocked 3 punts this year.
Wow.
So it's like he himself has blocked 3 punts this year. So as much as we have stroked Mike Eckler this year,
I'm gonna guess he's got a good eye on that.
yeah, exactly.
The way that guy likes to game plan.
But the other guy is their linebacker Amari Campbell. He leads the team in 8 tackles for loss. He leads the team in tackles completely at 76 tackles on the season. That's including today against Michigan State. But again, they're just kind of middle of the road. They aren't what everybody expected coming into this season.
Yeah. Is there anybody else that we're really like focused on? Or is it just going to be a blanket, hey, as long as we take care of business and we protect the football, we should be doing all right?
I mean, I will say, so they like to blitz a lot on third down, first and foremost. They did that a lot today against Michigan State, especially third and long.
Very reminiscent of what Ohio State was doing last year with that D coordinator.
I don't have the official numbers because it all hasn't come in yet on Pro Football Focus as far as how much they blitzed. But against Indiana last week, they literally blitzed 50% of the time on dropbacks for Indiana. So a guy like TJ Latif having his second start in his career on the road at Penn State, tough environment, all that stuff, he's going to be put under pressure. Jim Knowles is one of the best defensive coordinators in the country. No matter how bad Penn State is this year, Jim Knowles is one of the best defensive coordinators in the entire country. So TJ Latif is going to be under some heat coming into this game, yeah.
Going to be time for the offensive line to step up.
Yep, 100%.
Well, they just need to continue on their trend. They've had a few good weeks now in a row of protecting the quarterback.
Yeah.
So they just need to continue that.
Yeah, I mean, they've only given up 2 sacks in the last 3 games. Considering what we've been doing the entire season, it's a lot.
This is the biggest test, though, in our last
100%
in this last 3 games.
Yes.
On the offensive side of the ball, Matt, what is Penn State offering us? Obviously, Drew Aller's out for the season.
Yeah,
career might be over. Who knows?
That is just it's the big thing for them. Just like their defense, they're decent.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of just middle of the road in every category.
Which you wouldn't think so, considering their 2 running backs that they have returning.
Who were supposed to be the 2 top running backs off the board this year in the draft.
Well, not just that. In the history of Penn State football, they're like number 3 and number 7 in the history of Penn State football.
Playing alongside each other.
Yes.
That's
and
crazy.
they're just not having that big of a year.
Yeah.
I mean, the offense as a total, they're averaging just over 30 points a game. That's obviously heavily skewed towards the front couple of games in the season. 5.3 yards per play, 330 yards per game. All of that ranks them out about 52nd in total offense nationally. It's very middle of the road. Ethan Grunkmeyer, the freshman quarterback who stepped in for Drew Aller, not good.
No,
he's not very good. I don't know how else to say it. He's not good at throwing the ball. He only had 2 touchdowns before today. He has 4 total touchdowns that he's thrown. He's thrown 4 interceptions. And he's maybe at, after today, close to 700 yards. Is that what we saw?
Roughly, yeah.
So he's not a runner. He's negative 38 yards on the ground.
He started 4 games this year, and he's at under 800 yards.
He's not good. He only had, versus Iowa, he only had 93 passing yards. He's not great. He passes the ball around when he is able to find somebody. They have 3 receivers and a tight end who all have more than 20 catches on the year. None of them with super flashy numbers. And all 3 of their receivers that have those catches are seniors. So a lot of knowledge, I guess, out on the wings. But I don't know what you do with that if you got a quarterback that can't get you a ball. I mean, I was just looking today in their game against Michigan State. They ran the ball 50 times.
Wow.
Yeah. They had 50 rushes. He threw the ball 13 times, and he only completed 8 of his passes.
Yeah.
So they're going to very heavily rely on the running game.
Yep.
Well, they're not. I mean, they're not. They score the second most points or second least points of anybody on Michigan State since they started their massive losing streak right before us.
Yeah. And then you look at their running. Katron Allen is their main kind of workhorse for rushing. He's not having a bad year. He's over 700 yards, but he's only averaging 5 yards a carry. He has 10 touchdowns. They have 21 rushing touchdowns overall on the season. It's just all very not what we expected from Penn State this year.
Which also, no disrespect to Nebraska, our weakness is our rushing defense.
Yeah, and that's going to be tested because that freshman cannot throw the ball very well.
No.
Hopefully that is some way we can affect the game. How is their offensive line though? Is their offensive line?
They're sound.
They're talented, but are they playing well or not?
They're sound. They've only allowed, I think, 13 sacks on the season. So they're decent.
Yeah.
From an explosiveness standpoint, do they give up game? Do they give up many explosive plays in the pass or run game? Do we know this?
They're long scrimmage plays. As far as in conference, they are 5th in the conference of giving up 93 plays of 10 plus yards. So
not a ton.
No, I mean, they're middle of the road as far as 20 plus yard plays. They're 10th in the conference. So no, I mean, it's super fucking weird. This is a top 5 team going into the season.
Yeah.
And they're literally middle of the road of everything.
None of their stats have done anything that jump off the page.
No, they're not terrible. They have talent to do what they have been expected to do. They just haven't.
I mean, those top 4 receivers, well, the 3 receivers on the tight end, yards per game, 36, 31, 27, 24.
Yeah.
What are they allowing opposing running backs to do from an average perspective per game? Since Oregon, I would say, because like when you're looking at, they really have a tale of 2 seasons, right? They got to Oregon, and then all the wheels fell off when they lost that overtime game. And since then, it's like, I'm curious about that.
So, and obviously, I'll bring this up in our questions because obviously I have
not trying to give anything away,
but I have an Emmett Johnson rushing yards question. But Penn State is 13th in the conference, allowing 153 yards per game. They've allowed 3 players to go over 100 yards on the season. 2 of those 3 players are quarterbacks.
Oh, wow.
With Gronowski at Iowa and Nico at UCLA.
Wow.
So,
okay.
So that could play a big factor for Latif.
That does tell.
But that could play a big factor for Latif, who is obviously a mobile quarterback.
Right.
Who knows? Yeah.
Might actually be a blessing for him.
Yes.
In this game.
Yeah.
A little more use on the kid.
Yeah.
More use on the kid. Who do we expect to be our standouts on the defensive side of the ball going against this offense? Is this going to be a D-line game, or is this going to be, as long as we're shutting it down in coverage, we're bringing the house as much as we possibly can?
I mean, again, not to overshadow some of my questions that might be coming up. I'm going to go with Andrew Marshall because Andrew Marshall has been playing great lately.
Vincent Shavers is going to be another key player of plugging some of those holes when they're trying to run.
He gets a double digit, especially against the running game.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a big day for our secondary. I don't think they're going to have much to work with.
Yeah.
Which, again, I might get to an Andrew Marshall question in a little bit.
I mean, if you're only going to throw the ball 13 times against Michigan State,
yeah.
Are you even going to try and throw a pass against one of the top secondaries in the country? Like, I don't know.
Touche.
It might be a tough day for him. Might be a tough. Hopefully,
I hope it's the worst day of his life.
Yeah.
So here's my question for this in this situation, because of the way Penn State has played over this stretch since the Oregon game, and because of the way that we are so not inept, but not as strong on the defensive side of the game. Is our whole game plan, let's jump out ahead on them and try and force them to throw the ball?
I mean, that's what my plan would be.
I think every game plan should be that.
Well, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Let's just go score a bunch of points and see if they can catch back up.
Catch up. Hopefully we don't take our foot off the gas if that's the case like we did at UCLA.
Yeah.
No, I think especially it's senior day. You're going into what may or may not be a hostile environment. That's
my thing. Is the
that
crowd
stadium has
up?
the ability to be a crazy place to play.
One of the top 10 environments in the entire
and
country.
100%. Yeah.
It's their last game at home for the year.
Senior day, if that means anything.
And
whatever.
so it kind of, I think the fans actually will play a big part in this. If they show up and they're rowdy, it might be more of a game. If they've already given up, the players will probably give up too.
That's my question: is how easy is it going to be for Nebraska? Like, obviously, it's going to be easier than it would have been if they were still vying for a natty.
Yes,
but how easy is it going to be for some red to creep into that stadium? Is going to be my biggest question.
I mean, considering have you seen the prices of some of those tickets?
No.
$15, $16.
Yeah, they are.
We could buy tickets right now.
That right there tells me that the crowd is not going to be as big of a factor in this game as I would have expected.
The fact that one of my best friends who lives down in Florida is considering making the 20. Go ahead.
Tickets as low as $9.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
No, one of my best
Now I'm
friends.
seeing that right here. That's funny.
He lives in Florida. He is considering making the drive from Florida.
That's a fucking drive.
It is.
Well, going to the game is not going to cost you anything.
He's like, it's like $13 a ticket.
It's
like,
sad that you're going
why
to
the
spend
fuck
more
not?
money on a beer than you did on the ticket to get in.
Exactly. Like he's highly considering making that drive. He just needs to find somebody to drive it with him. And I don't know that he's going to find somebody down in Florida that cares enough to drive with him.
Just
but whatever.
fly.
God,
God
if we could put 10,000 red in that stadium,
Yeah.
ooh, that would be
Oh
embarrassing.
no, it'll be more than 10. But
You think?
Oh yeah.
That stadium
Ooh.
holds like 110.
Yeah.
No. I know that. What I'm saying is normally it's all
No, we'll
Penn
put
State.
20 to 25 in there.
Oof.
Yeah. It was funny. I was talking to my buddy down in Florida. He goes, I just don't know if I know anybody dumb enough that would want to make that drive. I said, well, you do. He just lives in Omaha and he has to work.
He can't make the drive with you.
I guess you could swing through Nebraska and pick me up.
So let's turn this 20-hour drive into a 45-hour drive. Sounds like a great idea.
It's only half a country.
I am curious if anybody knows anything about chicken.
Do you like chicken? Do you like the world's best chicken? I happen to love chicken, and I'm here to tell you, Trax Lounge in Omaha has the world's best chicken, and that's a scientific fact. Actually, ever since 1965, Trax has been proudly serving the world's best chicken right here in Omaha at their original location just north of Center on 1506 South 60th Street. But honestly, their chicken is so good, they've officially flown the coop and opened a second brand new location out in West Omaha on 18111 Hugh Street. If you like your taste buds, you want to treat them right, get over to Trax today and get some of the world's best chicken. And if you really like your taste buds, get the hot buffalo mixed with garlic parm.
We appreciate Trax, and if you haven't gotten out there and checking them out yet, you definitely need to.
God, it's so good.
Like I think I said this a few weeks back, but it is it's amazingly difficult to get into either location at any normal time of day. But if you go on a Sunday, and I'm telling you, Sunday by like 11:30, you get into that West location.
Oh, yeah.
Great place to catch a game. The food is obviously amazing.
Fucking great chicken.
But you'll get in there before they're too busy to be able to get in at all.
Yeah.
So check it out, guys. Jed, let's jump into the questions, man.
All right. Question number
Hold
one.
on, time out. Julie, are you ready? Calling Julie.
No excuses, Julie.
Guys, if you don't know what we're talking about is we do these prop bets. These are not off of some website. These are actually the hard work is put in by this guy over
Off
here.
of the dome.
So some people, I actually saw a comment about this last week. Somebody's like, "Well, that's not the prop that I saw. It's no.
Cool.
We're coming up with these on our. Jed's coming up with these on his own.
This is the Jed Burke sports book.
Yeah, there you go. So
Powered by Jaeger.
jump in the comments if you haven't. Jump in the comments and check it out. Other people will be dropping their predictions and their prop guesses on these. Jed likes to keep track of these, and he'll let you know how you did.
Question number one. So you guys know, I always, yes, maybe there's one question that I will repeat on a consistent basis. You know, back in the day, it was the 10-yard punt return number and all that.
Or two.
Yeah. This year it's been the sacks allowed by Nebraska because that's kind of been a storyline of the program. This week, I actually have 4 returning questions from even just last week.
So wow.
Sounds like
Okay.
a bad luck charm.
But these are also questions that are very.
Especially for me, who did really poorly.
But you tied with Matt for first between us 3.
Oh, well, there we go.
But these are very pertinent questions of what is happening with the program as of right now. So, TJ Latif passes beyond 10 plus yards. So these are air yards. I had the number last week at 8.5. I'm going to put it at 6.5 this week. He's had 9 all season. He's 6 of 9 as far as completions. That
Nice.
is irrelevant. I just mean, yes. Just passes
Can't help myself.
attempted. Yeah, I agree. They only threw the ball past 10 yards twice versus USC as far as TJ Latif. Both of them were 20 plus yards. He was 0 for 2. He had 4 passes of 10 plus yards against UCLA. So again, TJ Latif passes beyond 10 yards, 6.5.
Matt?
I'm going to take the over. I think as he gets more comfortable, we're going to be able to open up the offense a little bit more. And if it's just attempts and not completions, I think we'll attempt at least 7. So
Okay.
Do we know what Dylan was averaging?
I mean, I can find it, but
Don't go to the work on it. It's not that pertinent.
I bet it was more than 7 per game.
I'm gonna go ahead and say under, just because I think a lot of that under short, really fast stuff is very helpful for him. A, he's young, but B, it's also really helpful for our offensive line. And that was obviously part of the scheme at UCLA. I think that's going to be a big part of the scheme against Penn State. A
Okay.
much better defense.
I'm going to go with the over just because I think that this game is going to be a much different game than the UCLA game. I think the UCLA game didn't really have the pressure of needing to throw the ball downfield.
Sure.
I think this game will. So I'm going to go with the over on that aspect. Question number 2, Penn State rushes of 10 plus yards. Penn State has 25 in conference play. That's including the Michigan State game, by the way, that happened earlier today. That they are averaging about 3.5 per game. Nebraska has allowed 41 in conference play. That's 17th in the conference. Yes. 17 in the last 2 games. So I put the number, even though Penn State is only averaging, which is super weird considering their 2 running backs.
Mhm.
But also speaks to their numbers this year.
They're only averaging a little over 3 per game. But I'm still going to put the number at 6.5 because Nebraska gives up a lot. Sorry, but they do.
I'm going over.
Okay.
And I'm glad that he took the over so that I can comfortably take the under. I think that is going to be the biggest point of emphasis,
I
especially
agree.
with a bye week.
I agree.
I think all they did this week was work on rushing defense.
Run fit.
They need to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I don't think that we are going to care much about them throwing the ball because they're not comfortable doing it.
Yeah, I think that it's kind of just the scheme, and I think at this point in the season, you are who you are, and I think the scheme is to kind of let them have those things in the middle portion of the field, and when the field shrinks down is when we get effective in the run game, and they're going to bust some stuff on us just because that's going to be their primary focus. They know that's where we're weak.
So this has been one of those, like, when I came up with the number, I'm like, I don't fucking know which way I'm going to go.
That should be the way the numbers come up with.
I agree, but I kind of with what I said when Matt took the under, and even you took the over. I just think that this is going to be so much of a different game than what UCLA brought to us. But I think that the emphasis is that we are going to have to throw the ball downfield. So I'm going to take the over in that aspect. That is not how you spell it.
You're thinking they're going to score some.
It's not about scoring. It's just I think that we're going to have to get the ball downfield.
Okay.
Just for it's about attempts. It's not necessarily about completions.
No,
So-
you're talking about Penn State rushing past 10 yards.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I was on the
It's like,
previous
where'd we
question.
go here, Jed?
Sorry, my bad.
This is our second show of the night. Forgive him, please.
Oh yeah, my bad. I've had a lot of Jaeger. I'm still taking the over on Penn State rushes of 10 plus yards because we give up a lot. So, question number 3. Jesus Christ.
I'm really glad that I thought I was having a stroke for a second.
I'm having a stroke in my brain.
That's all good, Jed.
Question 3, and I'm out, by the way, so I won't be having any more. Wow, that was bad.
Love it.
Question number 3. I don't care if you cut that. I don't care. Emmett Johnson rushing yards, 114.5. Emmett averages 115 per game in conference play for rushing yards. So I just basically put it at that. Penn State, like I said earlier, they are 13th in the conference in allowing 153 per game. They've allowed 3 players to get over 100 yards. And 2 of them are quarterbacks.
I think it's just another one of those. Emmett Johnson is feeling it. He's feeling the love, especially the Heisman talk love. I think he's going to have a big game. I'm taking the over.
Okay.
Part of me wants to go the exact opposite direction on that because of the fact that he's getting all that Heisman talk this week, that's going to be an extra bulletin board motivation for them to be saying, we're shutting this dude down. Like, that's our target. We're shutting this dude
I
down.
don't know if they have motivation to do anything
but here's
right
the
now.
thing. I actually said that about the UCLA game, that I thought that they were just going to focus on Emmett.
him. And they did, and they couldn't stop it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where I was going with what I was leading into with Matt taking that. And like for me, I feel like the logical thing is to say, based on the numbers, take the under. But they're pushing Emmett on this Heisman campaign, and he might carry the ball 40 times in this game.
Or touch the ball 40.
Touch the ball 40 times, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And this is just rushing yards, right?
Just rushing yards.
Just
not
rushing
total
yards.
yes.
I'm going to go over, and it's not even a hopeful over. I hope that we're actually able to move the ball through the air some more in this game, and he's not relied on as much as is necessary. But I do think that this offense runs through Emmett Johnson, especially because of Dylan Raiola being out now. It's got to happen.
So, not to be a complete fucking idiot like I did on the last question, because I'm too drunk to know what the hell's happening, I will say I'm going to take the under, because I think that considering the fact that they have allowed 3 players this season to go over 100 yards and 2 of them are quarterbacks, I kind of think maybe TJ Latif will get a bunch of rushing yards and maybe take away from Emmett. I think Emmett will still have a giant game, but I'm going to go with the under on the 114.5. Just because of that.
You said a really good number.
Question number 4, sacks allowed by Nebraska. I'm going to put the number at the same thing that we had last week at 1.5. They've only allowed 2 sacks in the last 3 games, no matter how bad we've done the entire season. We've had 2 in the last 3 games. Penn State has only had 13 sacks. That's including today against Michigan State, where they had 3 sacks. Good for them. They've only had 13 sacks in conference play at 1.8 per game. So, considering how talented this Penn State defense is, they only average 1.8 per game in conference play. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm putting the number at 1.5.
Over. They've got too much talent. I do think that there's going to be some, Elijah made the statement when we brought up that on our last show of there's guys that are playing for the name on the back of the jersey this week, and they've got to make some highlight type reels. Our offensive line has had enough struggles with this year that there's no way Jim Knowles isn't keying on a few specific things.
Exactly.
And so I could see this number actually, I would probably take the over if you set the number at 3.5.
And I struggled with that number. I almost put it at 2.5. I wasn't 100% sure. There's another number later on that I really struggled with what number to put, and I'll get to that in a second. But, Matt?
I have no fucking idea.
I agree with you.
So I'm going to take the over because of history, even though I think we've been doing better. I could also see this being a very benign game where defenses don't do a lot. So,
yeah, I'm going to take the over as well, mainly because of Jim Knowles and how good he is as being a defensive coordinator, especially against like a team like Indiana where he blitzed 50% of the time. He blitzed a lot today against Michigan State, specifically on 3rd down. I just think they're going to get home, and so I'm going to take the over as well. Question 5, turnover margin for Nebraska. I have it at plus 0.5. So basically, will we be positive on the turnover margin? Nebraska is -1 in conference play. They've been even in 5 of the 7 conference games. Penn State has been -1 in every conference game except for Ohio State and versus Michigan State earlier today. Against Ohio State, they were even. Michigan State, they were +1.
I'm going over.
yeah, I'm taking Nebraska on this one as well.
Yeah. I see a pick or 2 in this game.
I think if we do
So you
make
don't see
them,
us giving up one.
I see us maybe giving up 1, but I still think we finish positive.
Okay.
Is this total turnovers or is this just interceptions?
Turnover margin plus 0.5 for Nebraska.
No, I'll take
so
Nebraska.
Even you would lose on the over.
No, I'll take Nebraska on this one. I think because of their quarterback and how he is, if we can make them start throwing the ball, we're gonna be able to take advantage of that.
Okay. God, this is another one that I make these numbers and I want to make them easy for myself.
He's taking the push here.
No, I can't
There's
take the
no
push.
push. It's 0.5.
0.5.
Oh, he's taking the under.
Yeah, so take Penn State.
He thinks it's going to be even. He's
I mean,
taking the
we've
under.
been even for 5 of the 7
Yep.
conference games. Even makes sense.
Sure.
We say it countless times on the show. Math.
Okay, take the under. Or take. I guess it's take Penn State.
You know
Take
what?
Penn State.
I'm losing of us 3 in these picks. I need the points where I can get them. I'm taking the under.
We just bullied
give
him
us more
into-
points.
Yeah, that's what I was-
I'm going to lose anyway, so whatever. Question 6. Nebraska total punt return yards, 24.5. Penn State has only allowed 7 returns for 62 yards. Nebraska has 25 return yards in the last 3 games. So I basically just put it at the 25.
Do they have a traditional punter or a rollout guy?
Penn State?
Yeah.
They have a traditional punter, but he's also like 6'7", 290 pounds. He's a fucking giant.
Cool. All I need to know is whether or not he was traditional, and I'm going to say over.
Okay.
Yeah, with the emphasis we've had on trying to get more of a return, I'm going to take the over too.
But also
Barney has been very frustrated
the
because
last couple of games, the teams that we've played have bottled them all in.
they've also all had rollout punters.
Yeah.
That's the key.
That's true.
That is giving your guys
If you can
more
waste
time
some
to get
time,
down there.
yeah.
And if he's a traditional punter, I would even venture to say that I might put money on a block punt.
I was just going to say, don't change the line. I like where it's
No,
at.
don't change the line.
No, I wasn't changing it.
No, but Ja'Cory Barney has been visibly frustrated on the field, not being able to return some of these punts the last few weeks. He's going to get some.
No, if you watch Penn State, you will know he ain't moving, that punter. Because he's a
moving the earth
giant
as he goes out
motherfucker.
there.
So
I'm going to roll out a tackle to punt.
no, he is a tackle.
That's what I mean. The Penn State's rolling out a tackle to punt their balls.
I'm going to take the over as well. So this is kind of one of those that I kind of referenced earlier. There is a push option in this one because I didn't want to do the 1.5. I didn't want to do 2.5. So I did 2. Catches allowed by Andrew Marshall. I put the number at 2. He has allowed 5 catches in the last 4 games on 17 targets for 29% completion percentage. Grunkmeyer, the Penn State quarterback, has completed 64% of his passes in his 4 starts.
Cool. I'm going under.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not going to throw the ball. I'm going under too.
Him and Sear, right? Like that's a tandem, man. That's a tandem.
Yeah.
We haven't had corners like this at Nebraska in a long time.
In the last 4 games, he has not gone above 4. He had like 1, 0, 2, and 2. That's kind of why I was like, I think 1.5 is too low. I think 2.5 is too high. That's why I was like, screw it. I'm going to make the push option on this one for the 2.
Jed's taking the pushy.
I might take the push.
Good.
Take the push. Take the tush push, Jed.
I'll take the push.
Taking the tush push.
That's not the tush push. Nobody should ever take the tush push.
Question 8.
It's an atrocity.
Third down conversion percentage for Nebraska, 49.5%. Nebraska is 50% in the last 3 games. Penn State allows 39% in the last 4 games. That 39% is a little misleading because literally today against Michigan State, Michigan State was 1 of 10. So that drastically dropped the number. Previous to the Michigan State game, it was at 48% in the last 3 games. So they're roughly around just below 50%. So again, Nebraska third down conversion percentage on offense, 50%.
So what's the line?
50% or 49.5%.
49.5.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over.
Okay.
I'm going to go over. I don't think it's very far over, but I do think it's going to be over.
Okay.
They're going to put us in more third down situations than we saw against UCLA. Hopefully they're short and Emmett Johnson goes to work.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm actually going to have to take the under on this one.
Again, literally Nebraska is exactly 50% in the last 3 games.
Right. And I think part of that was Dylan making some plays. I don't know how well TJ Latif is going to do if we're in a 3rd and long situation. So I'm going to take the under.
Okay.
I hope I'm wrong.
Hopefully we stay on schedule. And
Yeah, that's my thing. If
there's not a lot of longs.
If it's a 3rd and 2 every time, we're going to be able to hand the ball to Emmett or fake it to Emmett and then TJ Latif run for a couple yards.
I'm going to sadly go with the under as well. My last question number 9. Who will have more forced missed tackles according to Pro Football Focus? Emmett Johnson or Penn State's combined running backs with Singleton and Allen? Emmett is forcing 7 per game in the last 5 games. So when he's starting to cook, he's forcing 7 per game. Katron Allen and Nick Singleton for Penn State is forcing 5 per game in the last 5 games. Nebraska has
5 total between the two? Okay.
Combined. Nebraska has allowed 10 per game in the last 5. Penn State has allowed 7 per game in the last 5.
So it all kind of evens out.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
So
again, there's a push option here, but
I'm going with Penn State's tandem.
Okay.
And I'm going to take Emmett. I think he's going to have a great game.
God, I fucking hate this question.
And you wrote it.
I know I did. But as soon as my buddy down in Florida, who I go over these questions with, we brought it up. I'm like, oh, that's such a good question. Nebraska's run defense is not great. I'm going to ride Emmett. I'm going to go with Emmett.
Emmett's getting ridden.
Yep. That's all I got.
I don't like that.
He said it, not me.
Yes. Nebraska's rolling into Beaver Stadium next Saturday. We have no idea as of the time that we're taping this show, but it will be on the graphic right above us here through the entire show once it actually comes out. But it could be a day game, could be a night game. My guess is it's still going to be a day game. The weather is not looking too hot up there for that game. If it happens to be a day game, we're looking at a mid to low 50s, probably pretty calm on the wind side of things.
It won't be miserable for mid-November.
No, it's not miserable whatsoever. We're not seeing snow or anything like that. However, if it is a night game, it will be colder, and there will be some wind. Not a ton, mid 15s ish, but like 36 degrees around 8 o'clock.
No.
That would be cold if it ends up being a night game. I think it'd be a cool atmosphere to see. Them try and do a night game with bunch of white in there and, blood red spread throughout the stadium and hopefully all over the field. But we'll see what happens on that side of things. We don't have an official over-under on the game. We set it at 49.5 based on what they were against Michigan State and kind of what Nebraska's been over the last couple of weeks. But the actual official line opened up at -7.5 Penn State, which was a little bit surprising. But again, senior night at home. Last chance for them to get into a bowl game, potentially. Matt, what are you taking in this game?
I know it's not. I'm sorry. I know it's not official. Do you want to just throw out a total?
I did 49.5.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that.
No, you're good.
I apologize.
Yeah, 49.5.
Yeah, I don't think we get up to 50 points for the game, so I'm going to take the under on the over-under. I don't see Penn State scoring a bunch, and I don't know. There's so many unknowns with their defense and how well they're going to do.
And what our offense is
because
look
there's
like.
so many freak athletes on their defense.
Mm-hmm.
So their numbers are confusing this year. So I'm taking the under on 50 points. And I don't know that Nebraska wins the game, but I don't think we lose by more than a touchdown. So I'm going to take Nebraska with the points.
That's fair. Jed, what do you got?
I'm also going to take the under on the total, first and foremost. I think we can win this game. I just don't think that we will. And absolutely at the 7.5, I completely agree with you, what you just said, Matt. Like, if we lose this game, it won't be by 7.5.
There's definitely not going to be a blowout in either direction.
There's 100%. I don't see a scenario where Penn State runs away with this game. So I'm going to take Nebraska with the points, but I do think Penn State will win the game.
So I think you're both pretty wrong.
Shocker.
I actually think that this is going to be a little bit higher scoring affair than what maybe you guys are anticipating. Penn State's only been held under 20 points by Ohio State in the entirety of the season. They put up 24 against Oregon. They put up 24 against Indiana. Those are both really good defenses. They put up 24 against Iowa. I really see this being probably somewhere in the neighborhood of one of those 21 to 28, 21 to maybe 32 type games in there. I do see Nebraska coming out on top in this game. I know that surprises everyone because I never picked Nebraska to win games. But this has a feeling to me of Emmett Johnson solidifying at least the claims that he should be thought of in the Heisman conversation. Yep. I do think that there's going to be a chance for him to really lay stake to that in this game. And if he does what he's supposed to do, and if our back end on the defense does what it's supposed to do in the run game, I see us being able to pull off the win on this. And special teams is going to play a major factor in that.
Yeah.
So if the tackle of a punter gives us any opportunity to flip field on any of this stuff, it's going to be a fun day for us. I think it's going to feel like a feel good win. Might get a little bit scary, but I'm taking Nebraska for probably a 6 to 10 point win in this one.
Okay, and I'm guessing the over on the total.
I'm going over, yeah. Just because I expect them to score at least 21 points.
And this may be the most unbelievable night in Cornhusker football history.